There's a phrase people love to repeat, and it's that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And right now, the rhyme isn't subtle at all. Because the biggest parallel between 1929 and today isn't just that, well, stocks are very high or people are worried. It's something so much darker. We're not investing in companies, we're betting on prices. And when an economy turns into betting market, it doesn't need a single disaster for it to collapse. It only needs confidence to crack because before 1929, people simply thought they were just living in a permanent boom, that the roaring 20s had new tech, new industries, new optimism, new cars, radios, electricity. Everything felt like the future had finally arrived, and the market became a religion. Not because everyone understood business fundamentals, but because prices kept going up. And here's the part that people love to forget. 1929 didn't begin with fear, but it began with confidence. And we're in that same emotional zone today. Different technology, same psychology. AI, automation. This time it'll be different. In 1920s, a huge chunk of the boom was built on leverage. People bought stocks on margin. Businesses borrowed to expand. Speculators piled into risk like it was their career. Debt became the fuel that lit the fire. And when the market stopped rising, debt just didn't sit there. No, debt is the operating system that this country runs on. Consumer credit auto loans that stretch into an eternity, student loans that never disappear, and an economy that needs constant borrowing to feel normal. A system running on debt cannot tolerate slowdowns. It has no cushion, only momentum, like a freight train out of hell. Before 1929, wealth was highly concentrated with a very small percentage of owned most of the assets. So when markets broke, most families didn't have a nest egg or savings. They simply had bills to pay. And here we are again. The top owns most of the assets, and the bottom, they carry most of the bills. That's why the stock market looks fine, while life feels unlivable because rising stocks don't equal rising living standards. Today, the biggest game isn't stocks, it's derivatives, the same ones that crashed the housing market in 2008. Options, futures, swaps, bets layered on bets, markets stacked on markets. Most activity isn't about owning a company because it produces value. It's about predicting. Will the price go up by Friday, maybe? Or will volatility spike? Will the Fed cut rates? That's not investing. That's degenerate gambling. And derivatives don't unwind gently, they unwind violently. They can turn a normal dip into a chain reaction because the system is full of contracts that assume liquidity will always be there. And we all know that's not the case. And now we've pushed the casino even deeper into everyday life with prediction market betting apps. Bet on inflation, bet on interest rates, bet on politics, bet on the economy. Here's why that's fucking terrible. Because it trains millions of people to see reality as odds, not as something to understand, but something to gamble on. And gambling spreads fastest when money feels tight and people are stretched to their limits. When people are desperate for a shortcut, that's how speculation becomes a culture. In the 1920s, barbers and taxi drivers talked tickers. Today, it's worse because the casino now lives in our pockets, in our phones, 24/7. People ask, well, why are so many folks gambling on the market right now? Because life got so damn expensive. And since the 1970s, the cost of basics climbed faster than wages. Rent, childcare, healthcare, education, utilities. The productivity line rised, but wages never kept up, and people didn't feel like they were participating in any kind of growth. They felt like they were being crushed by it. And that's when risk becomes really tempting with options, meme stocks, cryptocurrencies, prediction bets. Not because people are stupid, but because the floor under the normal life got higher. Now comes the quiet part of this breakdown about layoffs that don't look like one big headline, but keep happening. Hiring that doesn't collapse, but simply just stalls. And the causes are very different by each industry. And the causes are different by industry. Tech by automation and cost cutting and expensive capital. Retail by weak demand and operating costs. Manufacturing by rates and automation and uncertainty. This is what a slow recession looks like. Not in a single explosion, not a long grinding stall. Here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Economy can survive bad numbers. It cannot survive lost trust. When people stop believing the system will reward hard work, they stop planning, they stop buying, they stop investing in the future. And in 2026, trust is fragile. Why? Because politics is gridlocked. Red versus blue isn't a debate anymore. It's a permanent fixture known as trench warfare. So instead of actually solving problems for its citizens like housing, healthcare, childcare, education, we get theatrics. And markets hate uncertainty. And households hate it even more. This is the real disease underneath all of it, is short-term thinking. Companies chase quarterly wins for a quarter percentage point. Politicians chase election cycles and their own voters. Households are forced into survival mode. And now everyone's just staring at the money while later crumbles. This is what late stage systems do. They trade the future for one more hit today. There you go. And when the economy becomes unstable, society fractures. People start blaming each other instead of the system that caused it. And the cracks widen between the rich and the poor, the young and the old, the homeowners and the renters, the workers and the management, left and right. And once these cracks become identity, it gets incredibly harder to repair anything because the economy isn't just numbers, it's trust, it's cooperation, it's stability. When those break, money often follows. So, what can we do? Don't panic, don't doom scroll, build resilience, reduce personal leverage. If the system is built on debt driven, then the best thing to do is carry less of it. Build liquidity. I know cash isn't exciting, but cash buys us time. And time is power in a downturn. Don't chase casino returns. If you're investing, great, invest. If you're gambling, just call it gambling. Build skills and flexibility. In a stalling economy, adaptability is a true asset because when systems built on leverage reset, then the unleveraged survive and the leveraged don't get a vote. 1929 wasn't caused by one bad day. It was caused by believing growth had no limits, by pretending debt didn't matter. Today, we're not repeating 1929, we're simply refining it. And the most dangerous phrase in finance is still the same. Well, this time it'll be different. So, if you guys enjoyed and thought this was a good thought provoking conversation that stirred some ideas in your own head, please consider liking and hitting subscribe. Remember, this is the Good Studio where not everything is good. Hope to see you guys here on the next one and hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.